Chosen one, you have felt it in your bones, haven't you? That strange pause, that divine delay, that season where everything seemed to move slower than your faith expected. You prayed, you fasted, you believed, and yet heaven seemed silent. Doors you thought were meant for you stayed locked. Opportunities you prepared for slipped away. You wondered, did I miss it? Did I do something wrong? Did God forget me? But hear this, now the delay was not denial. The pause was not punishment. The silence was not absence. It was divine orchestration. Heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was perfecting the timing. Because what God is about to release in your life could not come prematurely. If it did, it would crush what it was meant to crown. You see, you are not ordinary. You are a vessel of destiny, a carrier of divine blueprints, and what you hold within you is too sacred to be rushed. Every hidden season, every slow chapter, every unanswered prayer, it was preparing the foundation for what is about to unfold now. This is not just another message. This is a prophetic moment, and you are standing at the border between delay and divine release. The Spirit of God says, "My timing is not late, it is layered. I delayed you to develop you. I hid you to honor you. I slowed you down so I could speed up what surrounds you. Even now, the heavens are aligning in your favor. The same doors that once resisted you are now commanded to open. The people who once overlooked you are about to witness your elevation. What was once delayed is now divinely released. So if your soul feels that stirring, that sense that something big is about to happen, it's because heaven has just whispered your name again. The waiting was not wasted. The silence was strategy. The delay was divine. Stay with me, chosen one, because in this message we're going to uncover why God made you wait, what that waiting built inside of you, and how the very thing you thought was over is about to overflow. Your delay was never the end. It was the planting season for your now. You see, heaven has a language, and delay is one of its most misunderstood dialects. When God delays, He's not withholding, He's weaving. Every pause has purpose, every silence has strategy, and every setback hides a secret advancement. The divine works on a timeline far above what human logic can calculate. What you felt as stagnation was actually synchronization. While you were waiting for movement, heaven was rearranging the atmosphere around your name. God was repositioning people, redirecting hearts, and rebuilding paths that would one day carry you to the exact place He promised. It wasn't that nothing was happening, it was that everything was happening out of sight. Because there are blessings that can't arrive until certain people leave. There are doors that won't open until specific voices are silenced. There are promises that cannot manifest until your character matches the weight of your calling. So He delayed. Not to torment you, but to protect the promise within you. Not to punish you, but to preserve you from premature exposure. Even the angels understood this pause. They stood guard over the very promise you prayed for, whispering among themselves. Not yet. Not until the foundation is strong enough to hold what's coming. And now the voice of God echoes through the corridors of your spirit. The foundation is ready. The time is now. There's something holy about God's timing. It's not mechanical, it's musical. Every beat, every rest, every measure carries meaning. When you tried to force things to happen, it sounded like noise. But when God conducts it, even the silence becomes a symphony. You were never off beat. You were just part of a divine rhythm, too complex for the impatient to understand. And while you were waiting, He was working deep within you. He strengthened your discernment, refined your faith, and taught you to recognize His voice in the dark. He allowed isolation to become your classroom pain, to become your teacher, and patience to become your weapon. What you endured wasn't random. It was refinement. Now, the spiritual clock strikes alignment. The divine hands of destiny move again, not by your striving, but by heaven's decree. The delay has expired. The incubation is complete. The cocoon is breaking. You are standing at the appointed hour, not the convenient one, not the comfortable one, but the ordained one. And this word is not spoken lightly. It carries divine weight. It's not meant to make you feel better, it's meant to make you ready, because when divine timing manifests, things don't just change, they accelerate. Doors that took years to open will swing wide overnight. Conversations that once felt impossible will now come looking for you. The winds that once pushed against you will now carry you forward. Heaven's silence is shifting to sound, and the sound declares, "It's time." There comes a moment when heaven releases what it has been concealing, and that moment is now unfolding before you. You can feel it in your spirit, the stirring, the trembling, the divine quickening that whispers, something is shifting. This is the moment God had written into your timeline long before you ever experienced delay. The very waiting that frustrated you has now ripened into fulfillment. The seed of promise you thought had died in the soil was never dead. It was germinating beneath layers of divine intention. And now what was buried is beginning to breathe. The Lord says, "I have not forgotten you." What you thought was over is awakening again. What you assumed was denied was only delayed for perfection. Look closely at your life right now. The signs are subtle but sure. Doors that once resisted you are slightly ajar. Conversations that once fell silent are starting to resurface. Even your dreams at night are becoming more vivid, more charged, more alive. It is not imagination, it is activation. God has begun to move not just around you, but through you. This is the season where divine orchestration becomes visible manifestation. What was once spoken in secret will now echo in public. You are walking into the unveiling of what heaven has long been preparing. But here is the mystery. This moment was never about getting what you wanted. It was about becoming who you were always meant to be. The prophecy was never just about breakthrough in the natural. It was about the awakening of the spiritual authority within you. You see, when God delays, He doesn't just prepare the promise, He prepares the person who will carry it. And that's what He's done in you. You have been through cycles of pruning fire and testing, because what's coming cannot be carried by the version of you that once prayed for it. You are not returning to where you were. You are ascending to where you belong. And this ascent comes with revelation. The delay was divine because destiny cannot be rushed. Heaven says, "Now that you have learned to rest in my timing, I will release what was reserved for the appointed hour." There is a prophetic alignment occurring right now, like gears locking into place, like seasons clicking into divine rhythm. The same way the ocean waits for the moon to pull its tide, your promise has been waiting for heaven's cue, and that cue has now been spoken. Do you feel that shift in your atmosphere? The unseen realm is alive with movement. Angels are being dispatched. Opportunities are being awakened. Relationships are being realigned. The divine schedule is unfolding like the turning of sacred pages. And you, the one who waited, the one who didn't give up, the one who kept believing even when the silence was loud, you are now stepping into the fulfillment window. You will see divine timing collide with human reality. Things that once took years to build will now accelerate within days. What was once locked in the spiritual realm is now descending into manifestation. The plans that were delayed will suddenly demand your attention. This is not coincidence. It is Kairos, the appointed God-ordained moment when purpose meets preparation. The Lord is saying, "You have been faithful in obscurity, now I will trust you with visibility. You have been refined in secret, now I will release you in strength. The time that seemed wasted will now multiply back to you with increase." Expect movement. Expect clarity. Expect the supernatural flow of divine timing to begin breaking through your life in undeniable ways. You will find yourself at the right place, at the right time, meeting the right people, not because you forced it, but because the clock of heaven has struck now. You are entering the unveiling of promises that once seemed forgotten. This is your divine release moment. The delay was the cocoon. The timing is the emergence. And as you rise, the world will finally see what heaven has always known, that you were never behind schedule. You were right on time for God's time. There's a sacred law woven into creation that nothing divine ever arrives too early or too late. Every sunrise, every tide, every heartbeat carries the imprint of timing. Even the stars obey it. The universe itself was built upon divine sequence. So when God delayed you, He was not disorganizing your destiny. He was synchronizing it with eternity. Because destiny without timing is chaos, and blessing without maturity is danger. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. The delay became a divine classroom where your spirit learned what comfort could never teach. It taught you how to trust when you couldn't trace. It stripped away the illusion that control equals safety. It forced your heart to rest in God's rhythm, not your own. Think of it like this. When a seed is planted, it doesn't sprout the moment it touches the soil. It disappears first. It breaks. It surrenders to darkness so its inner design can awaken. The pressure of the soil doesn't destroy it. It defines it. And that was you. Buried, broken, misunderstood, not because you failed, but because heaven planted you. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet night, every tear that hit your pillow was watering that seed. The delay wasn't a denial. It was divine incubation. What looked like a dead season was actually a womb. And the womb doesn't mean stillness, it means formation. God formed something inside of you during the delay that couldn't exist any other way. He formed resilience, discernment, humility, and an unshakable knowing that He is enough. He stripped away the approval of people so that when you stand in your new season, your confidence would no longer come from applause, but from assignment. There's a difference between waiting in frustration and waiting in faith. Frustration says, "Why is this happening to me?" Faith says, "Something is happening through me." You moved from one to the other. That shift changed everything. The meaning of your delay was not hidden from heaven. It was hidden for you. It was meant to reveal the strength of your spirit and the sovereignty of your Creator. The slow season was heaven's strategy to reveal how divine timing purifies desire. Because let's be honest, before the delay, you prayed for things that would have distracted you. You asked for doors that weren't designed for you. You tried to hold hands with people who couldn't handle the weight of your purpose. But the delay peeled those things away. And when you cried out, "God, why are you taking so long?" He whispered, "Because I'm making sure what's next won't destroy you." In divine timing, everything that once seemed disconnected begins to make sense. You start to see that the heartbreak was redirection, the silence was strategy, and the loneliness was protection. That's how God works. He hides you when He's upgrading you. Remember Joseph in this pit, Moses in the wilderness, David in the field, Esther in obscurity. Every destiny had its delay, and every delay was divine. Because if God had released them too early, they would have entered rooms they weren't ready to rule. The same is true for you. The reason your timing was different from others is because your assignment is different from others. God wasn't comparing your progress to theirs. He was customizing your path for the greatness He placed within you. The world rushes, heaven refines, and now after refining comes revealing. You're standing in the divine paradox where what once looked like the end becomes evidence of divine beginning. The cracks that once embarrassed you are now the channels where God's glory shines through. The things that delayed you will become the very testimony that delivers others. This is the depth of it. Delay is not God saying no. Delay is God saying grow. He grows your spirit before He grows your influence. He enlarges your endurance before He enlarges your territory. He perfects your patience before He performs His promise. So if your heart still trembles when you think of how long it took, breathe. Heaven was not late. It was layering your life with meaning. Every unanswered moment has a fingerprint of wisdom on it. Every detour was direction in disguise. And now you carry a deeper stillness, a peace that doesn't depend on pace. You've learned that divine timing doesn't bow to human deadlines. The same God who orchestrated galaxies has orchestrated your journey. And when he says now, it's not a moment, it's a movement. You are about to live in the revelation that everything delayed was actually divinely designed. And when you walk into this next season, you'll realize nothing was lost, nothing was wasted. It was all working together perfectly, prophetically, and right on time. When heaven begins to move, it leaves traces. Nothing God touches stays the same. Not your thoughts, not your atmosphere, not even the way you perceive time. The divine shift announces itself through signs, quiet, personal, unmistakable signals that whisper, the delay has ended. These signs are not random. They are divine confirmations. They show up to let your spirit know that what was once stalled is now in motion. The first sign is divine rest. After seasons of striving and stretching, something inside you suddenly exhales. You no longer feel the same panic to make things happen. There's a peace that doesn't make sense, a stillness that says, it's handled. You may find yourself sleeping deeper, worrying less, or no longer chasing what used to consume you. That's not fatigue, that's fulfillment setting in. Heaven has shifted from preparation to manifestation, and your soul can feel it. The second sign is supernatural alignment. Conversations start flowing in your favor. People you never met begin mentioning your name in rooms you've never entered. Paths you thought were blocked suddenly open. Delays dissolve and opportunities seem to chase you instead of you chasing them. These are not coincidences, they're confirmations that the timeline has turned. The third sign is heightened sensitivity. Your discernment sharpens. The same music, the same words, the same silence suddenly carry deeper meaning. You notice synchronicities, repeating numbers, familiar phrases, songs that echo the same message over and over. Even creation begins to speak a sunrise that feels personal, a breeze that carries peace, a whisper in your spirit that says, you're in divine timing now. The fourth sign is holy discontent. Not restlessness, but readiness. You can no longer fit in old spaces that once felt comfortable. You outgrew them during the delay. You start feeling drawn to new places, new assignments, new conversations that stretch you higher. It's not boredom, it's breakthrough energy. The new season is summoning you. The fifth sign is visible favor. Suddenly what was difficult becomes easy. Things begin to accelerate: approvals, finances, connections, ideas. Doors swing open with little effort, not because you've changed methods, but because heaven has changed momentum. Divine timing carries favor, like wind under your wings. You'll find yourself saying, this shouldn't have happened so quickly. But it did because God decided it's time. And sometimes the sixth sign is holy déjà vu. Moments replay conversations, dreams, or places you once stood years ago. But this time the outcome is different. What once ended in disappointment now unfolds in divine completion. That's how you know you've entered redemption's cycle. The unfinished chapters are being rewritten. You don't have to go searching for these signs, they will find you. They appear like gentle confirmations in your path, showing you that heaven's clock and your steps are finally aligned. Pay attention not with anxiety, but with awe. Because these confirmations are heaven's way of saying, I'm still guiding your story. And once you recognize them, your faith will grow not from striving to see results, but from knowing that results are already unfolding. The waiting is over. The signs are speaking. God's timing is not coming, it's here. Right before manifestation comes movement, and right before movement comes resistance. It's one of the paradoxes of divine timing. When the season finally shifts in your favor, the pressure often intensifies. What you're feeling now is not opposition from failure. It's confirmation of transition. There's a reason things may feel shaky, even as signs of breakthrough appear. The atmosphere shifts when heaven advances. Old energies, mindsets, and even people who were tied to your previous season may sense that your elevation threatens their comfort. That tension is not to discourage you, it's meant to refine your focus. Every divine moment attracts both confirmation and contradiction. You'll notice distractions rising out of nowhere, minor conflicts, unexpected delays, strange emotions trying to pull you back into worry or fear. These are not random attacks. They're spiritual aftershocks. The enemy always tries to distort the clarity that comes before manifestation. You may even question yourself. Why do I feel tested again, right when things were finally changing? Because tests reveal whether your faith has matured through the waiting. This is the first hidden challenge, the test of consistency. You must not allow temporary chaos to make you doubt permanent promises. The same faith that carried you through the waiting will now carry you through the unfolding. Don't let excitement make you careless. Stay anchored, stay prayerful, stay discerning. The second hidden challenge is the illusion of delay returning. Sometimes it seems like progress pauses again right after it starts. That's because divine timing is layered. There are micro seasons within macro seasons. When it feels like you're slowing down, heaven is usually fine-tuning details. Trust that pause. Don't panic in it. The third challenge is the shaking of alignment. As God opens new doors, He often closes old ones abruptly. Relationships end. Familiar routines dissolve. The path narrows. It feels lonely, but it's intentional. God is clearing away anything that could dilute your next dimension. Remember, pruning is not rejection, it's preparation. The fourth challenge is the echo of your old mindset. Even when the external delay has ended, the internal delay can still linger. Fear, doubt, hesitation. You've been conditioned by waiting, so the pace of blessing might feel unnatural. Don't sabotage new beginnings by assuming they'll end like the old ones. Let your mind catch up to your miracle. And lastly, there's the challenge of stewardship. When what you prayed for finally arrives, you'll need the same humility that sustained you in the dark. Success tests character more than struggle ever did. Can you stay surrendered while favored? Can you remain faithful while visible? Those are the questions heaven asks as you step into your appointed time. So if you feel both excitement and exhaustion, both joy and warfare, you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply standing in the narrow passage between prophecy and fulfillment. Hold your peace. Guard your focus. Remember, resistance doesn't mean reversal. It's just proof that the promise is pushing through. Because the same God who kept you during the delay will carry you through the delivery. This is not the time to retreat. It's the time to rise. Now that heaven has declared it's time, you must walk with precision. This is not the moment to rush blindly. It's the moment to move with divine intelligence. The same spirit that sustained you through waiting will now guide you through unfolding. Your steps matter now more than ever, because what you do in this window determines how fully you receive what has been prepared for you. The first divine instruction is, move, but don't hurry. God's timing doesn't need your panic. It needs your partnership. You are no longer in a holding pattern. You are in a holy alignment. Take intentional steps, but take them prayerfully. Every opportunity that appears is not automatically ordained. Discernment must remain your compass. Move when the Spirit gives peace, not pressure. The right doors will not require you to break yourself to enter. They will recognize you when you arrive. The second instruction, speak life. Your words carry creative power, especially in moments of activation. Heaven has been silent for a reason. It was listening to what you would say. Now that the veil has lifted, every word you release carries authority. Declare what you desire to see. Bless what you're building. Speak to your future as if it already hears you, because it does. Say, I am walking in divine timing. I will not miss my appointed hour. What belongs to me is finding me now. The third instruction is honor the unseen. Just because manifestation has begun doesn't mean mystery has ended. There will still be things God hides, not to confuse you, but to keep your faith alive. Don't demand full explanation. Walk in full trust. Faith doesn't always get clarity, it gets confirmation. And confirmation is enough to keep moving. The fourth instruction, stay consecrated. The delay purified you. Don't lose that purity in progress. The temptation of the new season will be to forget the intimacy you built in isolation. But power without prayer becomes performance. Return often to the quiet place, not because you're desperate, but because you're devoted. Protect your oil. Protect your focus. Protect the sacredness of what God has given you. The fifth instruction is respond, don't react. When things accelerate, emotions can easily overtake discernment. You will need calmness to navigate sudden blessings. Not every opportunity is yours. Not every platform is purpose. Learn to pause before you answer. Let peace, not excitement, make your decisions. Divine timing is not about speed. It's about synchronization. The sixth instruction. Forgive quickly. When you enter your harvest season, old offenses may resurface memories of those who doubted or betrayed you. But the higher you rise, the lighter you must travel. Unforgiveness is too heavy for elevation. Release it. You are not walking into this next season to prove them wrong. You're walking into it to prove that God was right about you. And the seventh instruction is prepare for visibility. You've been hidden long enough. Heaven is about to put you where others can see you, not for vanity, but for victory. Your life is becoming evidence of divine timing. So carry yourself with humility, not hesitation. Speak with grace, not fear. Stand tall, not because of who you are, but because of who sent you. Understand this. God does not just release blessings. He releases responsibilities. The more He entrusts to you, the more He expects from you. But don't be afraid of that weight, because the same Spirit that helped you wait will help you walk. The anointing that preserved you in obscurity will now sustain you in visibility. Your only task is obedience. Obedience unlocks overflow. So here's what heaven is saying in this hour. Move wisely. Speak faithfully. Stay pure. Walk humbly. And above all, trust that the same God who authored your delay has already perfected your arrival. Because when God says, now, it doesn't mean rush, it means reign. Step forward with quiet confidence. This is your time not to chase, but to carry what was promised. And as you walk, every step you take becomes prophecy fulfilled. In the midst of acceleration, heaven surrounds you. God never releases you into visibility without first clothing you in protection. Every chosen vessel walks beneath an invisible covering unseen by human eyes, but recognized by the realm of spirit. That covering is upon you now. You are not walking into this next chapter unguarded. The same angels that watched over you during the delay now walk beside you in destiny. They have shifted from shielding you in silence to escorting you in purpose. And every step you take is accompanied by divine surveillance, unseen eyes of mercy, ensuring that no plan of darkness touches what God has declared complete. There's a peace that surrounds those who walk in divine timing. You'll feel it in strange moments. When others panic, you'll remain calm. When storms rise, you'll sense stillness. When uncertainty knocks, you'll respond with quiet knowing. This peace is not human. It's holy. It's heaven's way of saying you're covered. Even when you can't trace what's happening, you can trust who's holding you. You may not see every battle that was fought on your behalf, but you'll see the results. Doors that once led to danger will close without explanation. People with hidden motives will reveal themselves before they can reach you. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time, not because of luck, but because of guardianship. God's protection doesn't always look like avoidance. Sometimes it looks like redirection. What you thought was rejection was heaven rerouting you away from harm. That delay you resented may have saved your life, your purpose, or your peace. What didn't work was not failure, it was fencing. And now as you step into divine momentum, that fence becomes a fortress. Heaven encamps around you like light around flame. Even in crowded rooms, your spirit will remain untouched. Even in unfamiliar spaces, your path will glow with divine clarity. The presence that once comforted you in waiting now commands the environment around you. Hear this promise. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No accusation will stick. No deception will penetrate. Because your timing is not just blessed, it's protected. You are walking in the safest place in existence, the center of God's will. The delay purified your heart so you could handle His presence. Now His presence becomes your armor. So do not fear the pace of your breakthrough. You are not running alone. When the path seems steep, you will feel invisible hands steadying your steps. When the night feels long, you will sense divine fire lighting your way. And when doubt whispers, you will hear that still unmistakable voice, I am with you. Peace is your portion. Protection is your promise. Presence is your proof. You don't need to fight for what heaven is already defending. Simply walk, move forward, and know that every shadow that once threatened you has already bowed to the light now surrounding you. There comes a moment when everything you've prayed for starts to take shape not all at once, but piece by piece, until one day you realize the delay is over. It happens quietly at first. You wake up one morning and feel lighter. The heaviness you carried for years is gone. The anxiety that once lived in your chest has been replaced with certainty, not because everything is perfect, but because your spirit knows it's aligned. You can feel it, something sacred has shifted. The same places that once drained you now inspire you. The same tasks that once felt meaningless now carry purpose. The same voice that once doubted now declares, I'm ready. This is what transformation feels like. Not a sudden explosion, but a holy unfolding. Like dawn after the longest night, the light doesn't shout when it arrives. It just quietly begins to win. You've been refined through fire and silence. And what emerges now is not who you used to be. The waiting stripped away the excess, burned off the fear, and unveiled the strength that had been hidden beneath your survival. You are no longer defined by what delayed you. You are defined by what developed you. And this development leads to fulfillment. You are walking into a season where prayers become plans and plans become reality. Doors open not by force, but by favor. You'll look back at the detours and realize they were directions. The tears that once fell in confusion will now return as rivers of gratitude. God's timing always redeems the lost years. Where you once felt behind, He will cause acceleration. Where you once felt forgotten, He will give you front row favor. Where you once felt broken, He will display beauty that could only come from divine reconstruction. You are stepping into a rhythm where grace becomes visible. You'll find yourself surrounded by divine symmetry, relationships restored, opportunities, reawakened visions, revived. What was meant to bury you has become the soil that raised you. And here's the miracle. You won't just receive fulfillment, you'll embody it. Your presence will carry peace. Your words will carry weight. Your countenance will carry light. People will look at you and see evidence that God keeps His word. You will become a walking prophecy, living proof that divine delay was never defeat, only design. The transformation isn't only outward, it's inward. You've learned that faith isn't about forcing things to happen. It's about trusting that they already are. You've learned that destiny doesn't shout, it whispers. You've learned that real success isn't speed, it's synchrony. And as you walk forward, heaven will synchronize everything around you. The job, the relationship, the opportunity, the healing, all of it will meet you in perfect rhythm because now finally you are ready. Your steps will feel lighter, not because the path changed, but because you did. You are no longer waiting for permission to move. You are moving in divine commission. And the same people who once wondered where you disappeared to will now witness what God was doing with you in secret. You are not just entering a new season, you are becoming a new creation. You are the evidence that time spent waiting on God is never wasted. The butterfly doesn't regret the cocoon. It understands that the isolation was the birthplace of wings. And now those wings are opening. Fly, rise, move. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your becoming. Fulfillment isn't coming someday. It's happening now. The delay was divine, and the timing is here. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Can you feel it, that calm certainty that rests in your chest right now? That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Heaven is whispering. You've arrived. You don't have to chase what's yours anymore. You don't have to beg for what's already been released. All that's required of you now is alignment to stay in rhythm with what God has already declared. So before this word closes, speak these truths out loud. Let them settle into your bones. Let them echo into your tomorrow. Let them rewrite every lie that delay ever told you. Repeat these affirmations of divine timing. I am walking in God's perfect timing. Nothing is missing, nothing is late. Every delay was divine preparation for the greatness I now carry. What belongs to me cannot be taken because it is anchored in destiny. Peace is my posture. Purpose is my pace. I move in sync with heaven. Say them again not as empty words, but as activation. Every declaration you speak plants new life into your path. Every amen is a seed that heaven waters. You have waited well. You have endured faithfully. And now the same God who hid you is revealing you. The same God who delayed you is delivering you. What once looked like loss was actually love. What once felt like waiting was actually weaving. And what once seemed silent was actually heaven, singing in a frequency your heart was just learning to hear. You stand now at the threshold of finally. The promise has matured. The season has shifted. The door stands open. Walk through it with gratitude, not guilt. With confidence, not comparison. With reverence, not rush. Because this moment right here is not random. It's sacred. It's the divine unveiling of everything that was written about you before time began. And so I speak this blessing over you now. May your steps be guided by divine light. May your hands only touch what heaven intends to multiply. May your words carry healing and your presence carry peace. May you never again doubt the rhythm of divine timing, for it will always bring you exactly where you're meant to be. The delay was divine, the process was protection. And the timing is now. Go forward in faith. Walk with calm authority, and watch as everything heaven promised begins to unfold before your eyes. You were never behind. You were simply being aligned. And now it is done. Amen.